Hello there everyone and welcome back. I'm gonna do one more episode with the Mechanicus, I think, although I'm still gonna stick with the same fleet I currently had, since, in all honesty, there isn't a whole lot of wiggle room to try and diversify this fleet a bit. You just got the 4 cruisers, all of which have almost the same loadout with the exception of their second macro battery weaponry. So Dictator, instead of plasma cannons, it has the hangar bays. Tyrant, as we kind of know already, is the long range one that I've been using. Lunar for the lances, and Gothic for, well, I guess that's the most extreme, with 2 sets of close range lances at that. And of course the light cruisers, but they don't really benefit from having Nova cans. Can you imagine like Nova cans on a light cruiser? And of course the changes they made with all the light cruisers kind of makes this a lot less encouraging, because I actually have encountered way back when all light cruiser type of Imperial Navy and mainly Mechanicus type of fleets, I think. And they seem potentially scary, although I don't think it's all that exciting for Mechanicus, just because your torpedo bays, you only shoot 2 torpedoes, but Defiance could be something. 2 lance turrets with decent range, or at least Gothic type of range, and the hangar bays. I feel like Imperial Navy would benefit more since their Dauntlesses, have access to a really powerful Prow Lance or 4 torpedo bays. And keep in mind, back then they had 3 charges of like their hangar bays and torpedoes, so that made a big difference too. But I'm going to stick with this. The only alternative to this fleet with the Battleship is really just 5 cruisers, which isn't terrible either. I honestly can't remember how my points line up if I actually were to go that route. How many frigates would I get if I'm so daring? I can actually get 3 potentially, so it's not ridiculous. Yeah, if I would have to downgrade the Novas for a 3rd frigate, but it's not ridiculous. Only reason I like this with the Mechanicus is because bigger hit point pool, harder to critically hit, and of course the ramming spurs is a big factor too if my opponent's getting aggressive. Because, let's be honest, against Orcs and Imperial Navy, I'm eventually going to get stuck in a close range firefight. Even though I try to run away, it at least gives me that more power for the Mechanicus, or at least the Ark Mechanicus, especially since it still has its high energy turn, which can be useful to dodging some abilities. But after I'm done with Mechanicus here, I think I'm going to play around with more of the Cao Yang type of Tau fleet that I have been experimenting with the light cruisers and a single custodian. Since the most prevalent type of Tau fleet has basically been the 6 cruiser fleets, so it's refreshing to try something different and see if there's actual promise for it. Which, let's not hold our breaths that it's actually viable in some form. I just like the idea of something different, that's all. But with that said, let's get this going and see if we can get some miraculous Novacan hits, because that's always a sight to see. Alright, what better matchup could we ask for? 2 potentially long-range factions, although if you're going to be going the Emperor's Children, no, not Emperor's Children, but Word Bearers, I almost got those 2 chapters wrong, but if we're going to be dealing with the Word Bearers, then I suspect we're dealing with a less experienced opponent. It seems wrong to make that assumption, because I would love, if it was at all possible with my Chaos faction, to just play as the Alpha Legion. But you're kind of doing yourself a bit of a disservice. It's a big problem. Because Chaos, in case, well, Chaos and Orcs technically, if you choose certain sub-factions, perfect examples, the 4 main Chaos factions like Death Guard, Emperor's Children, was it Word Bearers, or not Word Bearers, but the World Eaters, they all get special upgrades and skills that you can utilize, and when it's convenient that you can choose these skills right in the deployment phase, there's almost no reason not to be these sub-factions, just because of the extra flexibility and power you can get. So that's where I'm getting this inkling. Hopefully, we're still up for a good match with that said. Because my Novacans could do a lot of damage, I have really good long-range potential myself, they just have the lances and probably, realistically, more ships as well. Actually, I think I want the battleship over here to maybe take more of the flak. And we'll see how this goes. Do I change the upgrade any? Probably not. I am inclined to go with the Void Shield though, because especially if it's a long-range type of fight we might be getting. So maybe I'm wrong on that.
Optimal course set.
Oh, and where are my manners, damn me? I should forfeit just because of that. But what are we looking at here? Just 4 ships, so I want to say they're either carrier grand cruisers or just 4 battleships. If they're 4 battleships, then we're possibly looking at 4 desolators. Because I'm pretty certain they can't afford 4 despoilers.
With matchless efficiency.
You have seized a strategic area.
Either way, I have the numbers advantage, arguably. Unless they have a light cruiser. We have the beacon being launched there.
You have seized a strategic area.
No.
State your order.
Ideally, I want these frigates to kind of reveal them as soon as possible. Ideally, when I'm in the range to shoot them. Because we're going to be fighting for a 3rd point, and they do have the range on me. At least they have potentially better firepower just because they could be equipped with nothing but lances. Fighters are actually going to help me in that regard. It's looking like. Let's just not get them killed. I only got 2 charges after all. Alright, so Emasculator and 2 Acrons. This is an odd fleet setup. Acrons seem consistent to a long-range type of fleet, but what's the Immaculator supposed to be for?
To serve the Omnissiah.
That's what I don't quite understand, and I can't remember the point cost, but Immaculator was what? Just a more expensive type of... Not a Devastator, I want to say. So there has to be light cruisers around somewhere. Well, that answers that question.
Optimal course set. We are ready to serve.
So let's just get you to safety, I guess. And try and bully these guys a bit. Because lances are not as impactful and close. Whereas my weapons can be more damaging.
State your order.
I'm doing a lot of damage in a hurry.
The enemy has seized a strategic
So I
area.
think my opponent doesn't know what to expect here.
Engage ancient red lines.
Alright. I'll take my free damage.
Ready to serve. Optimal course set.
Let's get the reload stance and get to hurting these things quickly.
Engaging drive.
Because yeah, boarding can do notable damage here, so I'm probably going to need to be ready. Actually, I can call arms. Who am I kidding? It's just it does pause my shield regeneration, though. That's a big factor. And those light cruisers are going to be stealing points from me, too. So I need to be ready for that. One cruiser's already gone, though. And I'm in perfect position to fire some more. Now let's try and reveal the ship. Well, conveniently they revealed themselves for me, so that helps. So now I get to shoot at 2 different ships at once, which is a rare opportunity for me. And while the crew is relatively intact, I still did lose my engines. Although they lost theirs, eye for an eye in this case. And I still have 83 armor per hour, so let's abuse it. I hope I didn't just ram myself there by accident. Or maybe they rammed me. There. I'm still wondering where the light cruisers... Oh, there they are. They're actually been here all this time. I just wasn't the wiser.
protocols.
Alright, let's switch the reload stance on everything.
With matchless
And actually,
efficiency.
let me just ignore you. Because yeah, this is a less skilled opponent, sadly. This will be over soon. Oh, they have a... Oh, their Stig it was the flagship. I wasn't prepared for this. They at least have the level ups, I suppose. They have that going for them, but I think this match is already decided.
Set.
Now all we need to do is have some fun with our ramming spurs.
The spirits
Because I haven't had much of an opportunity to enjoy that yet.
collision protocols active.
Actually, kill off this emasculator, or is it an Acheron?
Active.
Just kill it off for me. When neutralizing the point, actually, go neutralize this point for me too.
Machine spirit appeased.
And this battle's over. Almost all the firepower's gone.
Receiving
I can deal with the Stig almost just with my Defiance alone,
detected.
so long as I watch it like a hawk. But with it crippled as it is, I don't even need to do that.
Energize
Give me my ram damage. Aw,
You have accumulated
they're gonna leave me wanting.
50% of strategic points.
calculating vectors.
Finish the flagship though, and we're golden. And actually destroy the shields. I don't have a cool access assassin, but morale damage is still nice.
To retro propulsion.
Especially if it turns off their
Transition
salt running.
begun. Does not compute. State your
And I still want to ram you. I didn't prioritize components, so that's unfortunate. I missed out on an engine critical hit there.
are ready to serve.
Ram it. Ram it.
Thruster routines
I am coming, Kamikaze. Kill it. There, that's what you came to see. That's what you came here for to see. 450-ish points of damage in less than 5 seconds, I want to argue.
rouse the engines.
That is brutal. So, again, I want to say they're a less experienced opponent, but they did apparently have enough matches with this fleet to unlock everything.
You have accumulated 75%
It's just when I got
strategic
close,
points.
my firepower just was vastly superior, just because my macro batteries benefit so much from being in close. Lances don't benefit, which is why the Acrons want to stay at maximum range possible. I'm just curious. 2 Hellbringers, 2 Acrons, a Stig. Oddly, I feel like the Hellbringers should be just trying to steal points behind me. At least one of them. It's a question of what's the Emasculator for? I'm thinking point-wise. Because I honestly forget how much it costs. Okay, there's nothing too exciting here. It's just macro cannons, so it's a bit of an oddball. So yeah, maybe focus on the lances. The only unfortunate thing with being chaos and using lances is nothing really benefits from that type of playstyle. There's nothing that increases the effectiveness of lances, because where is that range increase? This actually won't let you shoot farther than 22,500 unit range or 22,500 unit range. So it may say 28,000, but you're getting no additional range. And reload stance doesn't help you, especially for just a single ship. Because sure, it may have slightly faster booster recharge, but then the rest of your fleet's kind of falling behind if your opponents catch up with you. It's really only the emission dissipators which works great with the lance-based type of fleets, because it does hide all your fleet. I'm just wondering what would be a good secondary skill, outside maybe enhanced sensor range for some matchups. So at least that way you don't have to get your ships or frigates within range to possibly get spotted and revealed. That's the only thing I can really think of. There are a few niche cases, maybe like the siren cans here might be useful for a flagship, since you're almost always going to be on lock-on stance. The macro cans just benefit more from this as the exception, if you're in close. Well, this is a matchup I'm terrified for, especially if they're going strike cruisers. since Space Marines can murder my entire fleet's crew almost immediately. Sure, it might take a little bit of time for those boarding results to kick in, but I don't really have the crew capacity to kind of fight them off for long. So I need to kind of hope I get a little bit lucky and cripple them before they get close. Never mind how important it would be to get my, what is it, Novicans and Eye of the Omniscience to slow them down too. Effectively slow them down. Because what's my crew right now? 16 crew here, so a strike cruiser with four broadside boarding assaults. Basically, on average, should kill like 12 of the crew here. Possibly more when you factor in Honor the Chapter and maybe some boarding assaults or boarding torpedoes. And that's just from one damn cruiser, keep in mind. If that was on a regular cruiser, well, there easily goes a third of my crew just from one of theirs. And they could very easily have 6 of them, depending how their fleet is built. Armor piercing is definitely important. I don't want to get in close, but this is the world we live in. If it's battle barges, I have a lot more breathing room, but I have no way to know if that's what they're utilizing is the problem. And the most expendable ship is really my Defiance, if I'm going to be serious. And I don't want them to be separated in case my opponent decides to run down part of my cruisers. As much as I would love to grab the second point, I need to play as cautious. Especially if they know what they're doing. So far, this is not the normal type of fleet unless it's 3 strike cruisers and a battle barge. That might be the exception.
Receiving your order.
So what I'm probably going to do... Okay, I can actually ping. I'm going to grab this point, move on up here, and then work from there. Which sadly does forfeit this area to my opponent.
We are ready to serve.
If they want to play a slow and steady type of game, but I seriously doubt they will, but they definitely have the positional strategic value. Since these are my only gas clouds I have right up here. So maybe I should try and implement these pings a little bit more. I don't know how, actually with the YouTube quality, I don't know how easy it is to actually see that, so maybe it's not a good idea.
Rouse the engines.
But if they can, if they're working on Armada 3 or some big expansion, which would justify why they're being so silent, Tindalos, then maybe they'll add additions for like the viewer experience. Since after all, replay or a spectator mode is definitely sought after quite a bit. And with how intimidating this game could be for at least 1v1, it's definitely a good idea. It's just a question on how much effort it would take. Actually, I don't want... I'm gonna go... Yeah, I can boost through here. I'll boost through, start getting some momentum going, because I am gonna have this gas cloud to hide in. I just don't want to take any more damage than necessary in the asteroid belt, since I did not even bother to go around it. Because yeah, there goes like almost 30 of my morale from that. And that was just 10 hit points of damage too, at least on the flagship.
To serve the Omnisire.
Well, that's convenient.
We are ready to serve. Rouse the engines.
Try and damage this thing down.
Machine spirit appeased.
I am scanner pulse, but maybe I can cripple this thing quite a bit. And which one still has scanner pulse with that said? And I'm seeing lances. Okay, so lance battle barge.
Engaging drive.
So let's try and reveal that.
Calculating vectors.
And that is the flagship, so firing Novicans could be a big mistake just because of supercharged void shield. But it is keeping them at bay for now.
Receiving your order.
The enemy has
I just need to
seized
start
the
hitting this
strategic
ship now
area.
for it to matter.
Interceptors engaging. To serve the Omnisire.
These ships are currently hidden. So let's see if we can benefit off that some. And sadly no fire assaults on this, even though I have the lock-on stance as well.
State your order. Optimal course.
And they do have a weaker fleet currently with one of them backing off, but I can't get careless just because of the boarding damage they can do. Alright, so they're just Disruption Overcharge and Lances, which is fine by me.
Battle protocols engaged. Receiving
They
your
still
order.
could do some serious boarding damage though.
We are ready to serve. Engage ancient red lines.
Alright, let's just reveal everything.
Reroute power to retro propulsion. With matchless efficiency.
And that's on fire, that's actually going to die for a
Revere
change.
the Omnisire. State your order.
You have seized a strategic area.
Now kill the other one.
Escort lost. Engaging drive. To serve the Omnisire.
Yep, I saw that coming there.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
But we can cripple these other ships really easily.
Machine spirit appeased.
Ah, dang it. I rammed myself, didn't I? Which is a
Enhanced
bad situation I put myself in.
The spirits obey. Energize vectored thrust.
Alright, so they're crippled.
Machine spirit appeased. The spirits obey. Rouse the engines to fury.
Okay, you're still marked because of the 2-minute cooldown ability, so let's keep that in mind.
Hostile signature detected. Thruster routines active. State your order. Engage engine red lines. To serve the Omnisire.
Okay, burnt all my combustion gauge at last, so that's unfortunate there. But your shields are not doing you much good here.
With matchless efficiency.
So let's get out quickly
To serve the
and
Omnisire.
kill this battle barge.
Begin rearmament. We are ready to serve. Reroute power to retro propulsion. To serve the Omnisire.
You have accumulated 25% strategic points.
Alright, I'm taking a lot of boring damage, but
Does not compute.
we're gonna get our ramming in a moment.
25% of strategic points.
And I do have my armor-piercing ammo.
Ready to serve. Reroute power to retro propulsion. Calculating vectors.
I need more Nova Cannon shots though,
Reroute
which
power
I'm not
to
gonna get at
retro
this angle very well.
Optimal course set.
Okay. Oh yeah, I still have a Nova Cannon here actually. Alright. So they just conceded.
We cannot endure.
Although that was definitely close, to say the least. But we're not out of this yet.
State your order.
If only I had been a little bit better at getting reveals, so what I honestly should have done was maybe enhance sensors on my frigates.
Calculating vectors.
This actually would have been a good situation for it.
We are ready to serve.
Because thankfully,
The
well,
enemy has
all my
seized a
fleet's kind of
strategic
intact
area.
outside my flagship, which isn't a big deal.
Reroute power to retro propulsion.
I can recover from grabbing the points, but honestly, just having the extended sensor range in that particular matchup actually would have been pretty good. And oh god, look at the wreck of that. Look what's left of that poor deck there. It's basically been melted off by a barrage of unholy lance fire, apparently. So that's definitely scary. I almost lost that. The boarding damage definitely was at that point. I knew there would be a supercharged void shield. I just need to be a little more diligent on getting those Novacan shots for a close range fight, since that's a lot of my firepower kind of spent, especially since I could have easily used it on that one cruiser that lost its engine, which was probably the biggest crime. Oh, look who it is. Are we gonna get our match though, or is he just gonna run off on us? It's anybody's guess. And as a Yoni, I haven't got to play against him forever. Now, it's a question if Void Weaver's willing or able to overwhelm me. Because I can just get enhanced sensor range, since light cruisers and all that are pretty terrible, but this might be decent. Might be. Now, how am I going to effectively engage, though? Since it's looked like I might go over here and then work my way to the middle. Although there's no easy way for me to secure 3 points unless I can get over here and then just turtle somehow in the middle with frigates near these gas clouds to kind of keep Void Weaver from using them. In theory, this should be a decent matchup for me. It's just a question on how well Disruption Overcharge works for me. Because once I start getting it going, I will have to stagger my lance shots or weapon fire a little bit to at least increase the odds of maybe hitting or at least chipping down the hollow field. And I don't expect Rad Storm to do much, but what's the best way? Well, Disruption Bomb can synergize well. It can, anyway. Is this a good choice? Because I don't need to tell you how much more damage I could do with something I can constantly see. Oh well, let's get ourselves going and see how this works.
Machine spirit appeased.
I have extended sensors, so my frigates can spot them relatively safely. And any generator hits I can get, the better. I'm gonna have to be aware of doing brace for impact, though.
Receiving your order.
The enemy has seized a strategic.
Actually, let me start boosting. They can't really abuse this too much.
With matchless efficiency. Machine spirit appeased. Optimal course set.
Don't know what else to really say, though.
You have seized a strategic area.
I'm not likely to get to take advantage of my Novacans the best, though.
Rouse the engines.
And I should probably try and push aggressively because I don't expect Macrocans to hit very well.
Optimal course set.
And I do have fighters to help deal with them.
Receiving your order. Transition begun. We are ready.
I just gotta take my time. Matches with Eldari should not be forced into a quick resolve, or at least conclusion. Especially if Void Weaver's gonna be silly and launch fighters on me, or at least because I can intercept both of them pretty well. Oh, all fighter fleet, huh?
Collision protocols active.
Alright.
Receiving your order. Hostile signature detected. With matchless efficiency. Hostile signature detected.
Now bombers.
We are ready.
Let's try and deal with the bombers really quickly.
Engaging drive. Reroute power to retro propulsion. Machine spirit appears.
That was easily dealt with.
weapons calibrated.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
And you have no detection, so let's just take advantage of that, shall we?
State your order. We are ready to serve. Engaging drive. To serve the Omnisire.
Now hit that thing hard.
Routines active. State your order. Engage engine red lines. Thruster
Well, that was
routines
convenient
active.
to burn the combustion gauge that way.
Calculating vectors. Machine spirit appeased.
Now, I don't
Routines active.
have the most convenient way to fire Nova cans, but
Rouse the engines to fury.
I do have a battleship to take hits for me.
Set. To serve the Omnisire. With matchless efficiency. Troop transition successful. Interceptors engaging. To serve the Omnisire. Engage engine red lines.
Alright.
Receiving your order. Teleportarium vectors calculated.
Ram the hell out of these ships. If you're gonna panic like crazy there.
Reroute power.
Although I need to start killing these ships for this to really pay off.
Engaging drive. Does not compute. Machine spirit appeased.
Oh, I accidentally called arms. That's unfortunate, but we're in good shape.
Begin rearmament.
I just misclicked quite a bit, which is a big deal.
Engage engine red lines. Engaging drive. Machine spirit appeased.
So bombers are still
Power to
being annoying, but I can shoot them down.
state your order.
I can actually hide in the gas cloud. That helps a bit.
Rouse the engines.
Actually, let me just launch fighters.
Says engaging. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Calculating vectors.
And I still have supercharged void shield, which can be pretty good here.
Serve the Omnisire. Transition begun. Receiving your order. The spirits obey. Energize vectors.
I have combustion gauge. You burnt all yours,
Thruster
or your
routines
rate bone shift. So this is going to feel good.
Receiving your order. Engage engine red lines. Optimal course set. Severe damage to their corrupted machine.
This is over for you. I am sorry for you, Weaver. I just want to get a good ram in for good measure.
State your order.
Sadly, they are mutinying, but
Matchless efficiency.
I just wish I had a way to kind of get
Assault successful.
additional boring damage in.
Engaging drive.
Let's not get too complacent.
With matchless efficiency.
Because, yeah, I forgot to prioritize the generator on you, which
We are ready to serve.
is a burden.
Energize vectored thrust. The spirits obey.
There, generator's gone. Destroy the deck now. Or at least temporarily gone.
Omnisire.
And get ready for supercharged void shields at a moment's notice, because your deck again is gone.
Rouse the engines.
Oh my, that was probably a lot closer than I may have made it sound. But I never got an opportunity for Nova cans, which again is the biggest crutch there. I really need to figure that out. Because imagine, even if the Nova cans don't hit, imagine how useful that could be to force them to prematurely use a Wraithbone shift or anything that at least denies them shooting for a bit. it's still a victory, one that I am definitely happy with. Alright, more chaos, and this is the World Eaters. So boarding is a possibility, and I am incredibly weak to said boarding, even if their fleet may not be the most, well, Chaos may not be the most intimidating type of boarding fleet. Although, I really would like to try and figure out something with Chaos. Only thing, what seems practical with such boarding? Because we have seen Acris's type of frigate spam, but is that truly something World Eaters would like? I suppose they're fine with suiciding because blood for the blood god and all that with a bunch of frigates, but it doesn't seem as brutal as you would like a follower of Khorne to be. So I don't know if it fits. It has potential. It's just a question of what the rest of the fleet consists of to at least capitalize on such frigate boarding damage. And even the counterplay, the Augur Disruptor Bomb, which sadly I don't have an Augur Disruptor Bomb here for the sake of showing it, isn't like the best kind of counterplay because you still need to kill the ships during the duration of said Disruption Bomb, which it's very unlikely you're going to kill multiple frigates at once. Unless they want to stand still for a Stasis Bomb, Rad Tempest, or even fly into a Nova Cannon. Which really, the only reason they would do that is because they don't expect you to have an Augur Disruptor to counteract that kind of play. Otherwise, they might be happy to kind of suicide all their frigates just so you can get 13, 14 boarding results in at the beginning on every single ship. Otherwise, how do I want to do this? Because again, I think I'm going to swing left if the situation warrants it, so I'm probably going to go this way. Alright, so where was I? Let's get this done, and... oh yeah, let me get my Colex's Assassin, that's pretty important.
Engaging drive. State your order.
Alright, so we know what this fleet is. They are definitely going to be brutal and devastating, so we're going to be in for a quick match, potentially.
Machine spirit appeased.
So let me counter boost and use my ability to slow him down to good effect. Actually, let me not boost with the one cruiser because it could serve as a bit of good defense.
Receiving your order.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Otherwise, it's... well, the odd thing is this thing is all about lances, so are they all lances in that case? Hellfires. Yeah, they're all lances, so maybe they're not as aggressive as I think they are. It just seems like a slight mismatch. If only slightly. Oh well. I should have gone to the gas cloud with that said. At least make it a little bit difficult for him to see the ship. There, problem solved.
We are ready to serve.
No.
We are ready to serve.
I can reveal them easily enough. I just gotta make sure I'm in range. Well, that's a bit odd for the rally, but I suppose I'll come back up at a certain point during this battle.
We are ready to serve.
So I don't think it's a huge liability yet.
State your order. Transition begun.
And I can easily reveal them, but I'm in no rush. Once I grab the third point, I'll be okay. It's just these ships might take some shots if I'm not careful.
Calculating vectors. The spirits obey.
No.
Hostile signature detected.
And I am not quite out of the scanner pulse, but I am hitting them.
Engaging drive.
So just get out of range and then we'll rotate and do it again.
Appeased. To serve the Omnissiah. Rouse the engines. Engage engine redlines.
Can I do some damage now? Because
Thruster routines active. Machine spirit
Try doing your damage. Get ready for the Nova cans, because I'm going to need that support fire.
engaging drive.
Well, if they're not going to contribute, then fine.
Hostile signature detected. With matchless efficiency.
I have the same range as you, so I just need to actually hit you now, with that said.
Reroute power to retropropulsion.
So this is good engagement for me for now, with 3 objectives at that,
Reroute power to
which is going to change a bit, but guess what? That frigate's not going to be spotting my frigates.
Thruster routines active.
It's just not going to be the most exciting type of engagement for a time being.
To serve the Omnisire. With matchless efficiency. Transition begun.
Now let me try and do said damage, because
Hostile signature detected.
the frigate's now pulling back. It stopped grabbing the point.
Weapons calibrated. Rouse the engines to fury. Rerouting process. Hostile signature detected.
Alright, stop group ordering on me, please. That'd be ideal.
Receiving your order.
Now let's force them to do something about this. Because if you're fond of your hiding spot so much, you're gonna have to do something.
Order. Enhance rotational drift. Machine spirit appeased.
I'm sorry, fella, this is not gonna work well for you.
Machine spirit appeased.
Although,
Hostile signature
I could still hit
detected.
them.
Engaging drive. With matchless efficiency.
Now let's get in the gas cloud and take advantage of this.
Machine spirit
And we have stasis bombs to have fun with too.
hostile signature
That was a
detected.
terrible thing to do though.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
But we have Nova cans, and we did an amazing amount of damage with said Nova cans.
Receiving your order. The spirits obey. State your order. Reroute power to retro propulsion.
And I still have 3 points, keep that in mind.
Receiving your order. Optimal course set.
So the frigate's thankfully gone.
State your order.
Now let's kill this ship,
Target on screens.
because I'm in good condition right now.
Hostile signature detected.
Just gotta watch for torpedoes now.
Enhance rotational drift. Transition begun.
The enemy has accumulated.
They are all
25%
lances, so
of
this is
strategic
best condition for me.
Hostile signature detected. Does not compute.
Now,
Interceptors engaging.
ram.
State your order.
Actually, just go straight through them.
The engines.
Especially killing this one Grand Cruiser that's being murdered right now. Although I burnt all my combustion gauge.
With matchless efficiency. To serve the Omnisire.
Your deck's gone, you are out of the fight.
Calculating vectors. Receiving your order. Calculating vectors.
Kill the ships for some morale damage.
The spirits obey.
And try get some Novacan hits in
Machine spirit appeased.
as a bit of a bonus.
Engage engine red lines. State your order. With matchless efficiency. Receiving your order. Reroute power to retro propulsion. We are ready to serve. The spirits obey. Machine appeased. To serve the Omnisire.
Okay, mutiny there, but no deck destruction.
Detected.
And sadly, I hurt myself quite a bit there too.
Rearmament.
So let's not get too complacent.
Rouse the engines. To serve the Omnisire.
Alright, encouraging speech, rally,
Spirit appeased.
kill the flagship.
Reroute power to retro propulsion.
And I didn't even prioritize engines on you. That's a bit of a failing there.
Holy Omnisire, heal thy wounded servant. Energize
Alright, let's finish this. A bit of a messy fight, especially when we got in close. I always seem to underestimate the Grand Cruisers, it seems like.
Receiving your order.
Now, how much more combustion gauge do you have left? Because I want to say you burnt all your combustion gauge now.
Focusing war sight.
So deck is damaged, let's finish this. That was a bit of a mess, I want to say. But now we're in good shape. I was a little bit worried I was on the losing end of that fight for a brief period. But we are okay. What is low on health? The flagship, so having that die could be a bit of a problem.
Optimal course set. Thruster routines.
And Omniscience is not really a factor here at this point.
Spirit appeased.
So let me just kill him. I'm just gonna win by the objective anyway.
You are close to victory by
Engine's
strategic
permanently
points.
gone. And you don't really have the firepower to fight me anyway.
Receiving your order. Focusing war sight.
That is a wrap, just about.
Rouse the engines.
I have doubled the score. They're now disengaging. I could be a dick and cancel it with a lightning strike, but let's not prolong it any more than needed. Actually, it is about to die, so it might just die anyway. Nah, it lived. It just barely lived. Well, that was a good match, but I'm wondering, how should I have handled that better? Because I was winning the long-range engagement quite well with those Nova Cannon hits. My opponent relied too much on the gas cloud, I think. Especially when this is an odd mix of a weaponry. Because I thought most of your fleet was lances. So I don't think armor piercing works the best there, does it? Is there something I'm not privy to? Unless the Grand Cruisers had a lot more macro cannons than I thought. I'm not sure. Either way, it was close to a loss despite that odd fleet composition, so with like more optimized skills, that very easily could have turned around.